I made it very clear that you prefer to talk about wanking. It's a conscious choice. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. I'm going to put that at the start of the vlog. I'm going to put that at the start. That's the quote of the podcast done already. Welcome back to James and Flav. For now, that's James, that's Flav, and this is us. We've had a week off again because we were so busy raising cash for people, for charities, for worthy charities. And we're going to be diving into that in this podcast. Bit of a reset podcast. I actually had to go... I went through the comments, and there are some good comments. But I forget what we talk about.
Hello, Dad. No, I haven't. I'm just recording a pod. Can I call you back? No, I'm recording a pod. Can I call you back? Bye. Sorry about that, James.
Yeah, just patter, innit? Just sort of the great thing. That's what people say, don't they? It's the chemistry. You're focused on him. He's focused on you. Pa, 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 pa. It's like Federer and Nadal, and then your phone rings. Anyway, we've got lots to talk about. We're going to talk about what really happened on that. The thumbnail I've worked on. I'm quite pleased with it, Flav. I think you'll like it when you see it. I found a despondent moment of you, and so I've used that within it.
What, during the show?
During the live stream after a goal went in. We've got quotes of the week. We've got a couple of interesting stories about people. Well, I've got a new bit called Guess Who He Supports, which I think
that sounds good. I quite like that.
I think that could be good. We'll dive into that. A couple of good stories about sweeping judgments and people that they've met for the first time. A couple of power moves, and one thing that makes us go and a bit of bottom chat as well.
I think
it's the climax, shall we say, of bottom chat. If you haven't checked out the previous podcast, make sure you do, because there's so many bloody in-jokes, including talking about how Kante spends his Friday night, which I had no recollection of at all. But then I went back last week and I was like, what the hell happened? You were talking about how he has a treasure chest of dildos. All that and so much more on the James and Flav for Now podcast. But we've got to kick off, Flav, if it's all right with you, because this podcast on this channel is sponsored by the legends at Boundary and via the people at Boundary. So Boundary is a security system, really easy to put together, and I got myself a cheeky home win by getting the Boundary system and putting it together. You can go to the description right now, and if you want 45% off, then just click on the link, use the code James, and you can choose a bundle or design your own system. I was given my own system because I'm stupid and struggle for home wins. What do you mean design your own? What does that mean, design your own system, James? It sounds intriguing. You can get range extenders, which I now know I need, so I've got one, so I can be even more secure. You can basically design how many motion sensors and different pieces you need. Don't let me explain it here. Let me explain it here. Hi guys, are you like me? You're hiding away, trying to find some form of home win to impress your loved ones? Well, now you can do so with a cheeky home win, because we know you're smart, but now I'm upside down from home security made smarter with Boundary. Massive thank you to Boundary for offering me, first of all, a home win, but secondly, a smart home security system that is saving me time and allowing me not to have to think. I don't have to think, and it's saving me time. You know how big a deal that is? Right, let's take a look at this bad boy. 4 simple steps to follow. Each one has clear instructions. Let's do this. Download the app, set up your hub, install your sensors and pair your key fobs, install the outdoor siren. Okay, we're initializing. Oh my god, we're initializing, guys. Beep boop, beep boop, beep boop. That's harder than I thought it was going to be. Success! Ready to pair, come on. Stage 1 complete. Stage 2 are the motion sensors. Whoa. Look how many motion sensors you get. Oh my god. I've got absolutely loads, and I can pair them up, and then I pair up key fobs. Come with me, I'll show you where I'm going to put all the motion sensors. Are you stupid? Do you think I'm stupid? I'm going to pair them up privately. So should you. Just quickly though, actually, one thing that is really good about these is the fact that they come with these little sticky things. So if you're useless at drilling into stuff, you could just use the sticky things and stick them on. Touch. I've just attached one of my key fobs to the app.
Is I beep it on here, and there you go.
I am attached. If that's the right word, probably isn't. So I can just go boop when I make my way in. I've also set myself up on the app, so I literally can just set the timer and leave for when I do want to set my alarm. And on the way back in, it's got a geo-enabled thing. That means that when I get close to home, it'll say, oh, you're getting close to home now. Do you want to turn your alarm off? Or the other way around, where I'm leaving and I haven't set my alarm. So if I've forgotten, I can then just click on the app and then click alarm, and it's done from wherever I am, because Boundary are telling you that you've left your home, and so maybe it's time to put the alarm on. We've also got these contact sensors, which can be over doors or windows if you're a bit concerned about those. I've set up a couple of those already. And the only thing I need to put on is the big boy, the Boundary siren, which if I want to make a big racket, which I haven't had to do just as of yet, but if I do want to make a racket, Jimbo can do it via the app. And if that's not enough, I just linked up Alexa. We have 2 Alexas in our house, not people, you know what I mean, the smart devices, and I've set that up with my app now so that I can talk to Alexa and go, set the alarm, and I literally don't even have to use the bloody app now. That's how good Boundary is. So if you want to be an absolute masculine powerhouse and dominate the home wins like myself, check out the description. Links there right now. You can get yourself 45% off my Boundary smart system. And then you can tell every man or woman, child or dog that you've got yourself some security and you're sorted. Check out the link in the description. Back to the video. And there you have it, a home win for Allcott. Come on.
Well done.
Come on.
Do you know what I'd like to do?
I'm looking at a motion sensor right now.
Do you know what I'd like to do with the motion sensors? When I was a kid, my granddad had something similar. He was quite security conscious, and he was never burgled. So,
really? Do you know what's good about this one? The one that this is what really got me excited about it was my memory of an alarm system was you go in and you're panicking because it's going and you're just trying to like hit the pin. But I thought that was it, and then you're just panicking. And then the whole street's like, what are you doing? Whereas now, when I'm like 100 meters from the house, I'll get a notification going, oh, you're getting close now. Do you want me to turn your alarm off? Yes, please. Swipe.
Oh, really? That's pretty good.
Easy as that. Easy as that.
That is pretty good. Like when I was a kid, I used to play this game was, could I get through the room without setting off the sensors? Because you can tell. Nice. I don't know if it's the same with Boundary, but my granddad's one.
Not with Boundary. No chance.
Yeah, no chance you're getting through. Exactly. See if you can. Tim, see if you can get from one part of your house to another without setting up an alarm.
Well, I mean, with the partial sensor, I don't know if that's the right word, but essentially you can have certain sensors that are on and certain ones that aren't. I could look pretty good in front of fam, so that's an option.
That's pretty good, because if you get up in the middle of the night and need a wee, and you've got the alarms on. Yeah. Well, I remember when I was a kid, my auntie sat at my auntie's house and she goes, don't come downstairs during the night, the alarm's on. Do not come downstairs during the night.
Alarm's on.
But this time, alarm's on. Or if you want to stay up late, and you want the rest of the house secure, you can do that, I guess.
Well, that's it. Yeah, fam gets a bit funny. Like she gets scared when I'm there because I'm just like so masculine and manly and alpha. So when I'm not there, it's just a huge void in her life. So when she's on her own, she often she does feel a bit scared. But with the with the partial sensors, you know, she could have a security system that is designed around her needs, which is great.
And this alarm, does it go on outside and it goes woo woo woo? This house is being.
Well, I've got Well, and again, that's an option. If I just feel like it. But it's like a power move. If I just want to dominate with a power move, I can just set off the siren. It's up to me via the app. Absolute legend. Links in the description, guys. Massive thank you to Boundary for sponsoring the channel. A Boundary security system. If you want to get yourself one and get 45% off, then the link is in the description. Give it a click and have a little look. It's a very lovely, clean website. I noticed as well.
Jim, what if you wanted to is it so sensitive that if you had it on but you accidentally woke up in the middle of the night and wanted to make love? Could your buttocks set it off?
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be the first thing my buttocks would set off. But
accidentally wanted to make love.
Yeah, I don't know. But there's a pet sensor thing as well, so it will allow like your pets to get away with it, but actual humans to be noticed.
Cool.
So much going on. Anyway. Right, let's talk about the podcast, because how's your week been? What we really want to dive into is why there wasn't a podcast last week. Why wasn't there a podcast last week, Flav?
Because we're playing football.
We were busy. Well, you were playing football.
And you were talking about it. To be honest, afterwards, I wish that I was just talking about it and not playing it.
We did briefly commentate together. I knew it wasn't. You're quite self-deprecating at the best of times. It was an amazing event. Just let's get these bits out of the way.
Yes.
Unbelievable event. Ridiculous production. Unbelievable production team who I'd love to work with again. Tournament was great. The games were great, which we could dive into. Most importantly, I say the people watching. I mean, I did contribute, but anyway, that raised $100,000, and which is outrageous and unbelievable. And hopefully we've found a sort of charity in real life tournament that can survive. That's what I'd like, because like Wembley Cup, it's not that it got too big, but it definitely got too serious. But I'm intrigued to see how they can navigate it this time round, because that was good.
When you let's not dig out other things. I mean, I was about to, but I was about to say, when it got too serious, is it that people took it too seriously and there was a bit of beef? Because that's kind of feels like the legacy of that was.
Yeah, I think it was just a lot of swinging dicks, and
it's a problem,
and
isn't
it was just it's like it's the battle that we've had for years. But
yeah,
I mean, it's not just. Well, you with the swinging dick, me with the other bit.
What? Well, I mean, swinging balls, really.
Yeah.
With the
And then the problem with us is it gets, when they get like swing ball when it gets caught, the balls get caught. Oh, it goes.
I reckon,
so
like,
to untangle.
If she had my dick and your balls, that would be a fucking incredible, unit. What? I mean, that would the dream, if anything.
Hopefully, Boundary have switched off by now.
So yeah. No. So there was this event. Was what was it called? It's Twitch Rivals.
So it's
True Geordies.
Twitch Rivals 5-a-side with True Geordies. The kickoff. Do you know how I remembered that? Because the other two presenters we had, Craig and Caroline. Lovely.
What a delight Caroline was as well.
What a delight Caroline was. Yeah, first time I've met her.
I didn't manage to talk to Craig, but I did. I talked to her. She was fantastic.
She's got an incredible story, by the way. She's like lived in Brazil and Hungary and France and Germany, and she speaks 5 languages.
Wow.
And she was a ballerina, and I think she's got a ballerina school whilst presenting.
Fantastic. That sounds amazing.
Amazing. But they were like, "What do we call this?" And I was trying to remember because it was quite a little bit wordy. And I said, just think of it this way. Who's most important? Twitch are probably the biggest. Then it's True Geordie. Then it's the kickoff. And so that's how
Twitch
I remember.
Yeah, but it's good. It's good. It was really good and raised a lot of money for the LH.
But what we want to find out, if we can, is what really happened at the Twitch
it was in aid of the Alan Shearer Foundation. All the money went to them. You didn't say that.
Sorry. I thought that was clear.
Well, it's not clear if you haven't mentioned it. I haven't said it once.
Mentioned it on numerous occasions during the stream.
Yeah, but not everyone watched the stream, Jim. It's just people looking at this going,
surely.
There are people watching this going, I do not know what you're talking about.
Okay. All right. So the Alan Shearer Foundation, which is exclusively created to raise money to keep the Alan Shearer Activity Centre open up in the northeast. Unbelievable work, yeah. And Shearer was an absolute delight. So we met Shearer at the same time, didn't we? Can you remember this? Do you remember what happened?
Bizarre. I do remember him. It'll be a moment that's freezed in time for the rest of my life, and I'll always be able to record it.
So when I was doing the commentary, which first of all, it was in my head. It was obviously fake commentary, so you could kind of just take the piss. But everyone's like, "Oh, you could do it properly." I don't think I could do it. I'm not sure I could do it properly.
Of course you could.
But properly and not make silly little jokes like that.
Oh, right.
You know what
I mean, yes.
I'm not sure I could.
I still think you could. If you get an opportunity one day, you'll do it.
Who knows? So yeah, but we did that, and anyway, we had different people come up at different times, and Alan Shearer hadn't arrived yet. We were expecting him to arrive about 4:30, and we were doing the commentary, and I thought. There was a little moment in my head. You were to my right. Alex was to my left. And I love Alex. And I think Alex was saying that he listens to the podcast. So shout out to Alex. He's an absolute hero.
Yeah, big up.
But no offense, Al. But I was like, this is me and Flav sat here chatting. Like, this is quite a big event. There's a lot of people watching. This is a nice moment. And I was thinking, let's get... So the initial trigger for a photo was with yourself. And then I thought, let's get a photo. And then basically the entrance to the arena there was like a little dark corner bit where a lot of people were just sort of standing.
Yeah, they were like producers for the show and stuff, and they were coming in and out and stuff.
Exactly. And so I was sort of commentating and waiting, and I sort of just got my phone and I sort of went to grab and stuck my arm out and went, hello, mate, do you mind if you can just take a Alan Shearer.
Like, can I just jump in here? Because as you did that, I wasn't looking at what you was doing. I was watching the football and, thinking about what I could say next.
Sure.
And all I heard in my ear was, excuse me, would you just take a picture? Oh my God, it's Alan Shearer. And I turned around, I was like, oh my God, it is Alan Shearer. And he's looming over it.
Yeah.
Alan Shearer's looming over us.
He was, wasn't he? He looked, because he's got...
And you just kept going, I'm so sorry. Or something along those lines. I'm so sorry.
No, this is mortifying.
And to his credit, he said, I'll take a picture for you. No problem.
Yeah.
We didn't actually do it.
Didn't do it actually in the end, which was a shame. So I didn't actually get the photo with you.
No, that's true.
It sucks.
But more importantly, it was at that moment. And it was a weird, you got down to sit, you got to sit down with Alan Shearer and talk together and watch and build a sort of a rapport. But my greatest moment of the day was that she's standing up and handing him the mic and then just sauntering off.
Well, that's nice. Yeah, because it was patrons, if you are a patron or if you want to become a patron, links in the description as well. You can join us for our mailbags. And just to give an insight on that, when I had to sort of change the scene so that we can go to the internet, what I had to change was the fact that we'd searched Jedward. So if you want to know what that was about, then you need to become a patron. Over 54 mailbags you can go back and watch. And patrons now, get yourself involved with some questions about what really happened on the Twitch rivals with True Geordie and the kickoff tournament. Because we'll answer a few now. Because I've liked the couple of live streams that we've done where there's been that interaction. But yeah, so I turned and I was like, oh, I'll tell you what, he's in great nick. Isn't he?
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's in great nick.
Definitely.
Do you think that, like, when you just, like, you spend every day because I almost felt like he drifted to piggy territory at the end of his career. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know what? Once someone's slow, in your mind, they become fat. Do you know what I mean? Like, and Shearer sort of, like, he'd had cruciate ligament injuries, didn't have the pace, he was just sort of strong. Yeah. And I remember I sort of thought he was just a bit... Yeah, he was drifting to piggy territory, but he looked lean. He looked lean.
He looked lean, and more to the point, he was genuinely lovely. Like most people are, do you know what I mean? Most people generally they know that they have to behave in a certain way, and they do. But he just seemed genuine. He seemed like a really nice guy, and he was really touched when Geordie presented the check to him. Indeed. Because that was a genuine thing. I thought, like, he was selling his match worn shirts to raise money for this foundation. And people, I don't think, like, sometimes people get it like twisted that a footballer can fund a charity.
A never-ending amount of money. People,
of course, there's a finite amount of money that someone can give from their personal wealth. It costs £250,000 a year to run their centre, and it helps people with special needs, right?
Yeah, it's like sensory impairments. Acute.
Okay, so it costs £250,000, £250,000 every year. No one, unless you're super uber rich, and footballers, as compared to the vast majority of people, are very wealthy, but they're not wealthy enough to be able to just give away £250,000 every year when effectively they've stopped earning in the kind of money that they made during his career. And when Alan Shearer was playing, they weren't earning £400,000 a week, and he would have earned that much because he was that good. But he wasn't earning that. He said during the show that he was earning between £40,000 and £60,000 towards the end of his career in his biggest contracts. That's huge money,
which he revealed, didn't he? Kind of at the end of the streams, I would have played.
But that was cool.
Yeah, it was cool. I thought it was really cool that he did it. It was like, if you're I would have played for free. I would, and then I was lucky enough, I was good enough that people could give me. And he just went for it, didn't he? Like 50, 60.
Yeah, which was really refreshing. Like, we all know, but that bit was great. But it just showed you he can't do that, right? He can't give away £250,000, and he was selling his match-worn shirts to raise money. But how many of those are he going to have? And it's a shame that those are mementos of moments in his life, right? So when the point I'm getting to is when Geordie gave over that check of 100k, you could see what it meant to him. And it was quite a nice moment, wasn't it? Because obviously Geordie idolises him, like he's his hero. And I'm sure he's gone into it many times on his channel about how important Shearer was to him growing up. But it was really lovely to see them together. And for a big man, he does love her. He's very emotional, isn't he, Geordie? And it's just nice. I think in the modern times where often men can't show their emotion, that he does. It's good.
Yeah.
It was a lovely day. It was a lovely day.
Well, I think he wants things to matter, and he wants whatever he's doing to create feeling in people, and initially the way he knew how to do it was, talking to a camera a bit more aggressively than he does now. But now, like, as he's progressed as a content creator, he's found different routes to do it. He's actually just such a great storyteller, isn't he? So I think that was always kind of part of it, because he wanted to do it, and you could feel that, like, in the lead up to it, all that mattered was getting as big a check as possible. It was all for that moment at the end there where he kind of went, "Bosh, here you go, Dad," because that's how he sees it.
Yeah, and Geordie said, like, I don't want this to be. I want people to have fun. I don't want it to be too intense, and probably some of the problems that were left after the Wembley Cup, he didn't want that to be recreated, and because of that, it wasn't. Like, there were people on the day that took the game seriously, and you can't have a football tournament with a load of men and it not get to some point a little bit aggressive and needly, right? Because it's just the nature of football. It is, and if you had that and people are competitive, my saving grace, right, I think, is that I'm the least competitive person on earth.
Although you were let down in the final, weren't you? Come on, you were let.
I mean, I would say to some degree I let the team down.
You were let down by the officials and some of the opposition players.
I don't want to name names, but Elliot Hackney. He's a born winner. Let's just say that. All right.
Yeah, he got the job done. Let's say
there was a moment during the final where I passed the ball. Basically, the ball went out of play, and being a good sportsman, I just ran over to get it and put it back to where the free kick was supposed to be taken, and I was in goal. And so there's a
it's
short...
so muggy. It is, Elliot. Like, I love you, Elliot. I'm happy to do this rant for you. It is outrageous. Like, because they were like,
it's out of order.
It was out of order because basically the ball went over. The free kick happened here. The ball drifted over to here, and then the whistle went, and the ball went flying into the corner. And Flav went and got it. So Flav had done the good, because Flav could have just left the ball. Flav went and got the ball and gave it to Elliot, and Elliot just put the ball down and kicked it in the goal. Like, I think if he's honest,
and then when I remonstrated, like, I said, Elliot, what are you doing? Like, what was that? And he just went, use your brain or something like that. And I was like, do you know what? They won. It was important that. They would have won.
They would have won regardless of that.
Yeah, they beat us 4-1.
It's not important, but I think it kind of goes back to your point, which is like, and this is the interesting balance of these things, right? Because there's this huge balance between how do we facilitate an event like this, which makes us all feel glorious and like we're living our dreams a little bit, whilst being relaxed about it, and how do we kind of, we're all competitive. How do you kind of like do your best and enjoy those moments of scoring a goal, whatever it is, and not tip over into taking it even just like 3% too seriously? Do you know what I mean? And
yeah, I mean,
the sustainability of these events, I think, is really, really interesting because, like, say Elliot there. You could say you could go, he's taking it a little too seriously, but then you could say we're taking it a little bit too seriously because we're calling it out. Jesus. Like, do you know what I mean? Or like, so someone's written here, I think it's Lucasan, who took it the most serious after Mcco? The Mcco thing is so Mcco, I watched a video of the guys chatting on the kickoff.
Yeah.
And I'll just show you what I saw, right? Mcco said in the video, he said I was in total control, and that may be so, but it didn't look like he was in control. And so I was commentating, right? And I was thinking, because I remember Mcco. I remember the few snippets of Mcco playing football. We had a fan league competition a long time ago, and I remember him losing it a little bit in that one. And I sort of was looking for it. I was wondering, is this going to come? Is he going to?
It wasn't a surprise. It wasn't a surprise.
Yeah.
At all.
So the first game starts, and literally the first couple of things that Mcco does are like a bit aggy. I think he took out. Is it Marvin? He took out Marvin, who smashed his head on the back wall, and then I think he pointed at me and as in like, "Don't blame me for this." And I was like, "Can we figure out if Marvin's all right first, and then we'll decide who's got it wrong?" But what I found myself doing, and I wonder if commentators do this, is so first thing was a bit aggy, second thing was a bit aggy, and I was thinking to myself, like, I know Mcco, I love Mcco, he's such a lovely guy.
Same.
And he's funny, Mcco, as well, because he's like, sometimes he can kind of look and seem a little bit sinister, but he's got the best smile in the world. Like when he smiles, he just like lights up the world.
I don't think that he by his own admission would admit that he would do it. He did anything he needed to win, which would include having a go at the officials so they don't. And there was another moment shortly. I think it might have been just after Elliott had just shithoused that goal. He then, when Mcco went into corner and then tucked the ball behind the benches, so that it's more difficult to get to waste some time.
So look. But sorry, I was going to just say, like, I found myself like there was a couple of those in the early moments of the game, and I was thinking, I've got 4 hours of this. I can't dig him out for the rest of the thing.
He didn't. No one had to dig him out. It was football.
But you're commentating on what's happening, and he was.
Yeah, you got to say something.
Every time he was in, there was this little explosion of like aggro. It was so funny.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's just look what Mcco is. He's the way he plays football is the way he talks about football. So it's like you know when he's on the kickoff, he's going to say and be interesting. He's not a wallflower. So, and it's regardless of the tone of the competition, it's a competitive game, and he did everything, and he played really well. He's a good footballer as well. It's not just that. He's like a bit like Roy Keane. You know what I mean? He takes it seriously. He wants everyone else to take it seriously. And if he feels affronted or something's got like there's an injustice, he makes it abundantly clear. It's just that he's the polar opposite of me, where I'm like. I don't know. I didn't want my drive was just let's not let the other boys on my team down, and that was it. And I think by and large I didn't. But I would also say that was probably the last ever game of football I ever played, and I'm not sorry about that at all.
Double retirement this week. Heartbreak. I mean, we were doing the mailbag yesterday, and you revealed that, didn't you? Within the same 20 minutes, Aguero and Flav retired from football. It's just
Although what it did show to me is how unfit I am and how out of shape I am, and I feel like I need to. Do you know what? Do you know on a level, it's a very weird thing to be live on such a massive platform.
Yeah,
I didn't like.
You're very aware of your body.
You're aware of everything, yeah, and people aren't. They don't hold back, right? So they do say stuff about you, and you're like, "Fuck, that doesn't feel very good." That doesn't. Like, I don't. I'm acutely aware that I'm older than everybody there, right?
Older.
And when I think people don't realize that when they say stuff, just because you're on a YouTube channel every now and then, that you're Teflon, and that isn't the case. Do you know what I mean? No, I'm not like I didn't cry myself to sleep or anything, but it's just like I went there to just do something nice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
it was but the sniper thing was funny during the first game.
No, that was funny. As I fell over, James, I was like. And I fell over. It took me so long to go down and get up. I was just like, "Oh God, this is happening." But by and large, it was a really fantastic experience. I met some really lovely people, and I had a massive laugh with Rory and Mcco. We had it. Most of the time we spent laughing on the side of, on the bench watching on. So the atmosphere was really good, and everyone's lovely. And what I would say is that it's easy to make assumptions about how people are when you see their YouTube channel and the content they produce, and often people are playing a character or an exaggerated version of themselves. But just to spend time with some of these people who are infinitely more infinitely more well known than I am.
You were right the first time.
Not infamous is something else, like serial killers have infamy. It's not like, so just a shout out to Thogden. I thought he was absolutely lovely. First time I met him, sound as a pound. I'm Alex as well. What a lovely guy. Spencer, spent some time with him. He was really lovely as well. Timsy, what a gent. What an absolute gent.
Well, absolute hero.
But it makes me sick, really. He's really good at football. He's really good looking.
Yeah.
He's tall. Just everything you'd want to be, really.
Yeah.
Great hair.
It's a lot to get past. It's difficult. But yeah, no, it was an amazing event.
Timsy.
My only sadness is that me I really enjoyed the commentary, and I'm pleased. I made the right choice in doing it because I loved it, and it's nice to be the center of it all. But I would have liked to have played as well. I wonder if there's any way around it where I can play and commentate. I don't know, but maybe I'm retiring is what I'm saying. Maybe I'm retiring as well.
You can't. Yeah, look. I mean,
because I think I can stop Elliot. Elliot. I said, we play each week. My main aim is to try and stop Elliot, and on 1 out of 100 times, I can do it.
No, listen. We should move on because there's loads of football stories to talk about. But if you can show Elliot onto his left foot, that's half the job.
That is half
the
job.
But the problem is, he's very, very quick.
Yeah.
And my turn of pace, I've got the turning speed of a battleship. So he just could just show his right foot every single time. It's very difficult. But absolutely. Well, Matt, he's brilliant. He's brilliant. And just thank you for being a part of it. It was a wonderful thing and great to be able to put back. Well done, Geordie, once again, and Loz. I'm not sure they watch this, but it was a fantastic event, and you guys are fantastic.
Yeah, man, I did think that as well. I was like, if you think of my kind of YouTube moments, like it's Wembley and it's this, and like both of them were kind of handed to me by those guys. So they are really, really special moments for us all. Like it was so it's just cool, isn't it? It's just an amazing day. And then when you can do something decent on top of it, it makes it really, really special. So yeah, well done, boys. And I'm excited. I think like if you think of the players that didn't play in this one, I think it can be bigger. And I think someone did ask, actually, the final thing to talk about was talking about the sound problems at the start. But it was more what was actually really funny. So the sound problems was just an encoder. It's just one of those things. It was like nothing technical. They literally had an absolutely humongous truck out the back. 14 cameras, I think, slow, like everything going on. It was unbelievable. But what was funny was we sort of sat down, and I didn't even notice it. So as you looked at the pitch on the left-hand side, someone had left the fire exit open. And so it looked beautiful, like unbelievably lit, like hundreds of lights to make it like look next level. And then someone had left the door open, and the security guy was like next to that door, and we were just we weren't even commentating. First game of this like huge event, like on this massive day, and Brian's going, "Could someone close the door to the fire exit?" And that was the story of like the first half of the first game. And like if anyone gets a chance to go back and watch the whole stream, which is there, go and watch the first game. It's so funny because Brian's just annoyed. He's just like, someone do it. Can someone go over and close it? And me and Loz are just winding him up a little bit. So it was so funny. But anyway, let's move on. Quotes of the week. Although I'm not sure you want us to move on, Flav, because you dominated quotes of the week a couple of weeks ago. If you want the context of this, go back and check out the last podcast. Leon Machin. Some 14-year-olds are tasty as fuck. Tasty is an expression from London meaning hard. Well done, Flav. You've made my day. Go back and check out the fun.
All right.
And Mr. Minto, quote of the pod from Flav. I could have 95% of 14-year-olds in the world, I imagine.
That's a fair statement still. I'll stand by that.
Yeah, it's good to know. I had... were you a tall 14-year-old, or were you like I was a tiny 14-year-old?
What are you saying? You're a massive 34-year-old?
No, I'm not. I'm 5. But no, I'm not. But what I'm saying is,
he was tiny.
it's such a pressure point in terms of growth. I think like year 8, year 9, and year 10 maybe in particular, because you have the bulk of people that have hit puberty by this point, and then me, and
I was
and it's horrible.
Yeah, I was on my way, but I had really long blonde hair, like literally below my shoulders. So even if my balls had dropped significantly, I still looked a bit prepubescent because of my long hair.
Mm. Yeah, that is mad at you and your long hair.
Pedo's dream, if anything.
Yeah. Well, pedos like long hair, do they?
I don't know what that meant.
Not today.
I'm not sure what that meant.
All right, new bit. This will be interesting. I think this will just be as and when. Guess who he supports. Who could it be? Okay. Tom J 2303.
Oh, I like this. Like, is this about agenda? Cloaked agenda in a comment. All right.
Any clues from that, Flav? Tom J 2303. No clues there. I haven't got clues. I
have no idea.
Aubameyang is a clown. The haircuts, the gold cars, the superhero mask celebration, wearing mercurial R9s, the list goes on. He suits this current Arsenal era perfectly, though, as like them, he isn't as good as he thinks he is. But who does he support? That's the question.
I love that comment. I stand by that completely. And I would say he may support Spurs or Chelsea. Probably Spurs.
Probably Spurs. I'm going to go with Spurs. Tom, let us know who you support, and let us know in the comments who do you think Tom supports. Or just very, very quickly, in the last podcast we spoke about the beef between Raymond and another lad. I don't remember he's chatting in caps lock. The general consensus amongst the comments was that we're just living in Raymond's world. Yes. So Raymond was the victor there. Aubameyang lost the captaincy this week. Do you know?
Yes.
Do you know what's a bit weird about that?
It should have happened ages ago.
But 2 years ago, I think that would have been... That's kind of come out as this sort of Arsenal are moving in the right direction thing. Whereas I think a couple of years ago, it would have been, what an embarrassment of a football club. Do you know what I mean? I
think it's a culmination of several things that Arteta has done, though, isn't it? Because in Guendouzi, he let go because he felt his attitude wasn't correct. There was a moment on the game yesterday where Martinelli went off the pitch and he pushed him back.
I love that.
Yeah, but you don't walk off the pitch with cramp. You stand. You make a nuisance of yourself as best as possible. I remember back in the day, Aaron Lennon did the same thing. Martin Jol threw him back on. He also did that to Partey against Spurs last season and got injured even more. So it's not always the best thing, but the mentality is correct. I think that it's fair to say that Arteta's impact in certain things like that and that poor behaviour, it won't be warranted, is the step in the right direction. And there would have been a period in time, perhaps towards the end of Arsene Wenger's career, where it would have been an example of Arsenal just being a big joke. Yeah. But to say that they're essentially acting like any other football club now, this doesn't propel them onto a new stratosphere. They're just behaving like a normal football club, and they're not being, played around by Sanchez, Ozil, and now Aubameyang. But there is this track record from Arsenal of giving huge contracts to players with dubious, or certainly not dubious, but certainly maybe an agenda that pulls in a different way from the success of the team on the pitch.
Yeah, or less ideal profiles.
Yeah,
that's interesting. The 12 steps of football club, from banter club to being a good club. How far are Arsenal along that road? Because if it is baby steps, they're now just behaving slightly like a normal club. How bad was it? What was that's a great question. What was the lowest point in terms of like supporting Arsenal? And I guess it's a concoction of performances on the pitch and embarrassment elsewhere.
So pick a specific moment.
I'm just trying to... Is there anywhere... Patrons as well, maybe help us out with this one. Is there a moment you go to?
Look, the idea of the way Arsenal are presented in the world and the way people see them is less about their football club and almost everything about their fan base. They have won FA Cups, 2 FA Cups. Arteta's won an FA Cup with Arsenal. So it can't be in the last 2 or 3 years. but if you listen to Arsenal fans, and when I say Arsenal fans, I'm talking about the ones that you can see on YouTube, right? Not all Arsenal fans.
Pepe, you done know.
All those, all that cretin and the even like Troops is a big thing, and some might like him and other things. I would say that he's a problem, but the when they lose, there's just viral footage of him going, "You're done. I've told you, you're done. Arteta's done. He's done out. He's done all that shit, right?" And then you've got others that are saying, "No, he's." So my point is Arsenal are essentially a meme.
Well, yeah. Well, they've become a meme, and I think they're now trying to get away from the meme.
But unless some of the content is put in check, they won't stop being that. You know, and then what are you saying? Like, what would stop Arsenal fans from reacting? Or sorry, the ones online, right, from reacting in a way that isn't sort of probably helpful, and that's just sustained success. They're currently sitting fourth in the league.
That's interesting. Yeah, you're right. Because I think if we go,
they're not going to get that.
If we go through the history of the last 5 years we've been doing YouTube, and the world's been big on YouTube or whatever, Arsenal have been big on YouTube. It's those sort of hot spots. Like, so there was one in the first 3 games of the season, weren't there?
Mm.
I'm going to get bantered for that. I felt like it was a bit calmer than it had been. Was it last year when did you beat them 2-0 or something? That felt like a hot one. There's been quite a few hot ones, haven't there?
Yeah, but there always will be. There was 2 weeks ago when they lost to. Well, they got beat 4-0 by Liverpool, and then they got beat. Who was the other team that beat them? I can't remember. And it was again the same reaction. It's like they just throw their toys out the pram. It's getting boring, to be honest.
Jude, let me put this to you as well then. So, because I think the easy thing to do would be to go straight to Arsenal. I feel like Arsenal have kind of led the way in that sense. But with the way the world is now, and like you lose 2 games and it looks like the manager's got to go kind of thing. Do you think other football fan bases are kind of catching up Arsenal, or Arsenal are calming down? Do you know what I mean? So like,
no, not really.
So I would say that, I don't know, maybe I'm a little bit closer to it this time. I don't know, maybe because I'm I don't know what it is, but I feel like Man United is still like this year. If you're a Man United YouTube channel and you've not done well this year, then I don't know how can you not do well this year with all the stuff that's happened? But like, I don't know, mate. It's just the hyperbole is interesting, because I think it felt like Arsenal was at this higher level of hyperbole. But
I mean, you're talking about what you're talking about in terms of content.
Well, I just think the whole sort of swirl around it all. Like, sometimes I think like there's so many different people that contribute to it. Fans contribute to it. I think big content creators contribute to it. I think ex-pros contribute to it as well.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
And I feel like Arsenal, so like the ex-pro element of it, I feel like the popular kids aren't Arsenal guys now. You know, the popular kids are Neville, Keane, Carragher, Mcco, Richards, Souness. They're not the Arsenal guys right now. And I almost wonder, I always really link that, because I think the kind of, even BT Sport, who's BT Sport? Skull, it's not Arsenal ex-pros. Whereas for a bit it was, I guess you got Wrighty in there, but like Wrighty and Keown and those guys. I think all of it kind of plays a part to make these clubs kind of more, I don't know, reactive, I guess. What I'm trying to do is get back to reactive clubs as a bit. I don't know. No, I just think it's interesting that, like, there was a lot of like, oh my God, what's going on here with Arsenal all the time for years. And I just wonder if the rest of football's caught up.
They've fallen so far in terms of what they had previously. And now they're sort of some way moving towards being sort of okay and decent, or at least the expectation has dropped from them. Then it's less of a story. Like, Arsenal getting beat isn't a story anymore, right? When they got beat by Brentford on the first day of the season, it was. But when you lose 2 games, 4-0, no one was shocked when Arsenal got beat 4-0, because that's how far their expectations have fallen. Like, the fan base is still reactive, but generally, I think how we view Arsenal is that they're a top 6 club.
They're a 4 to 8, aren't they? They're a 4th to 8. team.
Yeah, and they probably will finish somewhere in those positions again. Will they get top 4? Probably not. And that more to the point, and what I want to talk about, Jim, is what's going to happen to the season this thing due to COVID. Like the game, as we record, it came through that another Spurs game has been postponed against Leicester today. So we've been able to play 14 games where everyone else has been able to play 17. It's rumoured that, and I have it on good authority actually, that all the games in the Premier League will be called off at the weekend.
Really?
So what?
ITK.
You got Frank. You got the Brentford manager saying we need to have a circuit breaker. We need to stop football.
Yeah.
It could be that we don't even complete this season, or at least there could be a break of months again. Like it might, hopefully not. And I don't think
that would happen. I think it'd go behind closed doors again, wouldn't it? If it got.
Yeah, but players are still going to be getting it. I don't think a national. I don't know, man. It just feels like, I don't know. It feels like even if the season doesn't have a break, and there is an opportunity in the summer to have that because there's no tournament.
That's true.
There's a Qatar tournament in January, isn't it? So you could.
Good year for it. Is that what you're saying? It's a good year for it.
What?
You think this is good? This is a good thing. Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying there's an opportunity, whereas last time we had
a challenge. Yeah,
there was a challenge last year because you had to fit all the football in and the tournament as well. But at the moment, if it's just a societal thing and you've got lots of people getting sick, but footballers have been able to stay in a bubble and they're not getting sick, then you can argue that the game should just be carried on and play. But at the moment, it seems like, with the amount of players within clubs that are getting ill or just contracting COVID, that there needs to be we've got to stop them from mixing together. No, I don't want a break. Hopefully everything can just carry on as normal. But where do Spurs fit all these games in? Like it already looks like we might get kicked out of the Europa Conference League, which isn't the end of the world, but do you know what I mean? If it was the Champions League, we'd be fuming.
Yeah, you seem gutted.
Yeah.
Did you hear what Brendan Rodgers said about it?
He doesn't even watch it.
He said, I don't even know what it is.
Good. I wish I didn't know what it is. It's an absolute... It's a shit competition. It shouldn't exist. I don't want to be a part of it. I never wanted to be in it. I don't want to be in it. I don't give a shit if we get knocked out. I wouldn't give a shit if we won it. It means nothing. Right? It's an absolute garbage competition. But that aside, fundamentally, we've been kicked out because of COVID. Or it seems like the decision's going to be made. But it'd be unfair to punish for tests and allow us to play another game. There's no space to play it anyway. We can't play Rennes. And if the games do get called off at the weekend, that's another round of fixtures that we've got to fit in. I don't know what our season might shape up to be, because if we'd have been able to play these games, remember we got the Burnley game called off because of snow, nothing to do with COVID.
So imagine if you had to play Wednesday, then Saturday, and then Wednesday. Like you'd be getting to like 46 games in a season, Flav. I just don't know how you're going to fit in.
James, it's not that, is it? It's the amount of time left to fulfill it. It wouldn't be a case of Wednesday, Saturday, Wednesday. It'd be a case of sustained period of playing every 2 or 3 days.
Well, what I would suggest is that, I'm guessing here, but let's have a little look. Let's explore it. If I look at the Championship table, there are how many games left? 21. So there's another 25 games left for us to play. 24, right?
Yeah.
You've still got to play 24, 34. You've still got to play 24 games.
We've also got, we're in a European competition, right? There could be at least another 12 games in that. We've got FA Cup games and we've got League Cup games. And it's at a level that's infinitely higher than what QPR have to play.
Slower tempo often.
And the other we're at a disadvantage because the other clubs don't have to play as many games in that short amount of time.
Yeah, I guess I'll give you that.
Let's just call the season off.
I think I figure it out. Well, yeah. So you say, hang on. What's your solution?
My solution.
You could always just get on with it, couldn't you? Could just get on with it.
I don't know what the solution is.
I think the solution is you play the kids in the Conference League tournament that you don't even want to be a part of, and then you just save your best players for the Premier League, and sooner or later you'll go out of the European Conference League.
We're going to win it all. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's the problem. Arsenal in the top 4. I mean, 3 cheers for them. Well done. And everyone keeps count. 4th by Christmas. Who called that? Unbelievable.
It's a fake position, isn't it?
Yeah, you got 3 games in hand there. Got 3 games in hand. Right, let's keep on moving. What else we got here? Yeah, QPR's game on Monday and obviously the weekend has been called off, so we're in trouble. Comments of the week. Okay, I thought this might be interesting for you. Shark spray. If the opposition fans aren't giving you the boos and twos, which is a phrase I've never heard. The boos and twos. Have you heard that?
I haven't. I like it, though.
The boos and twos. Really good. When you score, then I don't want to score. Football used to be a sport without class, and now it's filled with, ooh, I'm a rival fan, and I have to say respect to rival club for the good of the game. Nah, less of that.
Love it. Love it. Fuck all this sort of pleasantries.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's nice, like when, everything was going tits up in the world and, football's like, let's a community and we should be together in this. But when it's normal, like, fuck every fan of every other club, all the time. There's no greater feeling of turning around the away fans when you've just scored and giving them the boos and twos.
Have you noticed this? Have you noticed that players are doing like the sort of finger over their lips, the shushing, or that one? So it's just arrived. Can I go get it? Yeah. Have you? More people are doing that than before.
What was the question?
More players are getting a bit frisky with the opposition fans. I've just got to go to the door.
Okay. Yeah, but that's what you want to see. Yeah? I don't think you don't not want to see. You want to see. I loved it when Jamie Vardy scored a goal and just gives it to the crowd, and so they go mental. Like that's the sort of. Why should they, just as footballers, not be able to express themselves in a way that's irritating? Like, bring me back the days where El Hadji would gob at people. That's proper football. Spitting and like fingers up and making kids cry, boot in the box. Like if you're in the box and you know you ain't going to score, you got to smash the ball as hard as you can in the hope that take one of the fans out. I don't know. It's just I think football's become sanitized to a certain degree. It's better than, like, I'm not talking about going back to the old days of football hooligans and where it's unsafe for people to go football and racism was rife and all that. I don't want that to return naturally. But a bit of needle at football is like the lifeblood of the game. It's about rivalry and about hating the other lot. It's fundamentally about defending your own patch or being reactive to fans of other football clubs and clubs that come to yours. Because essentially they're coming to your ground to take something from you, 3 points or whatever else it is, or to as Arsenal did when they won.
You all right?
What did you say?
I said, or a limb. They've come to take a limb.
Yeah, when it was important. It was special for Arsenal fans when they won the league at our place because of rivalry, because of the hatred, and long may it continue.
Just having a quick look on Twitter because sometimes we do. Why is it trending? And bloody Ashes, Aussies. Why can't? Isn't it mad how we can't? You go away and then you just can't do it in their backyard.
Yeah. But the home advantage is like such a massive thing in cricket.
Graham Potter, the balls. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, like you create the surface that you play on. Like I think we've won once in Australia in 30 years.
Bloody
Same with like Edgbaston when it's overcast. Wow. The ball swings in England like nowhere else.
Oof. Harry Kane's trending.
Yeah, I'd look at that. Do you know what Twitter trending has become an absolute? It's just people. It's a farce. It doesn't mean anything. It's just people tweeting nonsense.
Right. Samism. Just one. This could be the last Samism for a while. We might take a little breather from it. Okay. And Matt Robson, he's got a few comments in this week, so congratulations, Matt. Always good with the words. Samism from Ollie Mers. A lot of people, I got so many messages about this. Ollie Mers had done a Samism. He was commentating with Spencer, and he said that one of the players busted a nut to get into the box. Very, very, very mean. Very, very different meanings of busted a gut there, Oliver. Yeah, do you know what made me laugh? Is like a little box-to-box midfielder just going, he's busted a nut after about 3 yards, and then he's just sort of like,
I think I can have a little sleep.
Sleepily makes his way into the penalty box. Probably would offer him some composure at the finish. So maybe it's a good way around it. When I see Ollie Mers and I see Spencer next to each other, I'm like, which one's which? They're both Essex boys, aren't they? Essex boys are speak well, don't they? They've got they're lovely lads. They're lovely lads.
What are you talking about? And Ollie Mers was commentating with Spencer. What? I don't
Ollie
know what
Mers
that means.
either owns or is involved in a club that plays in non-league, and so I think he went down to do the commentary for the game against #.
Oh, right, okay.
So that's why. Right, I met once. So Leon Machin. I kind of met once. I was in Harrods. I was in Harrods in about 2016 with my mum. I'm just a poor boy from a poor family. So just being there was a little overwhelming. Then I walked into the food hall section and my eyes immediately met with West Ham manager and the best rhythm guitarist in all of Croatia. It was Slaven Bilic. He just stood there, dead, still, intensely looking at a wide variety of cheeses. I thought about going and asking for a selfie or an autograph, but he was so fixated on the cheese, I thought it'd best let the man enjoy his cheese moment. About 20 minutes later, me and my mum were leaving the food hall. Out the door, we came in, and I look over to my right, and Bilic is still there looking at some of the cheese. I'll never know which cheese he picked, or if it was worth all the brainpower he seemed to use. I used to say, live life with no regrets, but I will never be able to move on from this until I find out what cheese Slaven Bilic has on his crackers. What do you think?
What do you reckon?
I think he's he'd be like, I don't know. I bet he does something weird, like puts feta on him. So, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I reckon he's just like because of his back. He's hard as nails, isn't he, Bilic?
Yeah.
I think it's anything that just sort of blows your head back. Like the idea of mild cheddar disgusts him.
Right, I'm looking for Croatian cheese. Pag
is the Croatian cheese. We had this. Did we talk about?
That is so weird. We were chatting about Pag cheese, which I'd never heard of before until you brought it up, Flav, on the mailbag this week. That's mad.
Yeah.
And it's really weird. Salty cheese, you said, didn't you?
Yeah, it's from an. Do I tell this story again? Very, very quickly. They have it with. There's this island, the Isle of Pag, off of Croatia, and it's
do it quickly because I think I said it was boring the first time.
Sheep live on this, and because of the salt water and the salty conditions of the air, the sheep absorb it and create really salty cheese. It's amazing. It's really hard cheese, and they have it with like honey and stuff.
There you go. I wouldn't want to just make it that narrow. So we've got 10 Croatian cheeses here. Let us know, patrons. You can decide which one you think Slaven Bilic was staring at and trying to make the call on if he wants it or not. So you got this Tzaki, Croatian hard cheese, originating from Dalmatian hinterland. That hasn't got a picture. No, this one does. Paska Scooter. See, I could see him having something like this. Maybe this is too mild. I don't know. Grobnicki. That looks horrible. Bassa. Might tuck into a little Bassa. Right. It's a unique Croatian cheese, typically produced from the Busa cow breed in the region of Lika. What the fuck is that? Bedjavarsky. That's horrific. What? Made from drained cow's milk that's mixed with salt, paprika, and sometimes garlic.
Lovely.
Dinarski. What's that? From the Dinaric mountain region.
Probably enough in it.
Skripovic. Well, we'll just get to the final one. Start to finish. And Paskasur. Let us know which one you think it is, guys, in the chat. Football podcast. So yeah, Slaven Bilic loves cheese, but is indecisive when choosing. Another one. This got lots of layers to it. It's interesting. I thought it would make you laugh. ACG 97. I met once Ray Parlour, aka the Romford Pele. Now, we've both met Ray, haven't we?
Yes. Yeah, I've met him a couple of times.
The phrase that I've heard, apparently, that Ray Parlour likes to say is, show me the Reddies.
Any Reddies, Jim? Any Reddies?
Show me the Reddies, Jim.
There's a reason why that is, but I don't think we can go into it now.
True. I was playing in a five-a-side tournament at St George's Park, and Ray Parlour was co-hosting the event. This wasn't announced until we had arrived, and as an Arsenal fan, you can imagine that I was very excited to meet an Invincible. It was pretty surreal when me and a few other Arsenal fans were kicking a ball around with him in between games. It was even more surreal when he was watching one of the games I was playing in. I made a lightning quick burst down the right wing and put in a great cross with my weak foot. Ray clapped and said, "Great play, son." I felt like I'd found my father. After the game, I had a chat with him, and he was praising my Kante-like work rate. I was covering ground like a madman. I thought me and Ray were really beginning to make a father-son-like connection until I made an awful error.
Oh, God.
I asked to take a selfie with him, to which he agreed, and afterwards I asked him, "Wenger in or out?" He literally just walked off, didn't say a word to me, and basically acted as if he didn't see me for the rest of the day. I was devastated.
Just because of that?
I think Wenger may have his nudes, so he has to be careful with what he says. That's the only reasonable explanation I can think of.
There wasn't there the big controversy on TalkSport about this with Ray Parlour?
About talking about Wenger? Well, so first of all, if anyone knows the answer as to why Ray is a bit, I don't know, on the back foot when asked Wenger in or Wenger out, I'd love to know in the comments. We can read out the best ones next week. But yeah, he had a thing with Robbie, didn't he?
That's what it was. Yeah. And he was just basically...
You want him to lose, do you? You want him to lose, yeah? Show me the Reddies.
It's a weird. It must wind Robbie up. That, but the reality is they do make lots more money, don't they? So.
Do you want to? I wonder if there's like a guy just off camera with the Reddies, and he's going, no, tell him that they love it when Arsenal lose. He's just one by one putting down the Reddies. Ray's like quickly looking at him, I don't want to say it. I don't really believe this. But he's showing him the Reddies.
Yeah, I've got to say it. Well, I mean, you TalkSport, you can imagine that they would engineer a conversation. They have to, you have like Jamie Harrow's got pretty good at it at the moment, isn't he? Getting a lot of sort of has become notorious for saying very bold statements.
Yeah, he's just hanging in there, isn't he? I think he's just like he sort of he finished football and then got given like a, I don't know, he got given a sort of seat at the table, and now he's just like people trying naturally, like the world carries on and people are trying to kind of pull him off it, and he's just hanging on by saying like.
but he's
a good
actually
talker at times.
No, I like listening to him. He also like he hosts. He hosts.
Yeah, I've seen that.
He hosts. He's done Drive, and he's also done the Sports Bar Andy Goldstein used to do.
Yeah, I did watch one of them, and he was quite funny in that. I guess it's just
But you have to say mental stuff if you're on TalkSport.
Yeah. Someone was telling me that that someone had said to them when it comes to TalkSport, if you want to do well, that you need to, and it's not Rory, by the way, that you need your moment. You need your moment where you're in some way involved in something that is like really, really takes off, obviously, which makes complete sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Jamie Harrow's done that.
It's a shame that Simon Jordan has to sit with Jim White. I don't obviously agree with everything Simon Jordan says, but I find him interesting to listen to. And then you just got that absolute bell end on the other side just going, yeah, no. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, fucking annoys me. It annoys me that he's on there. And it also annoys me that what could be a really good show is spoiled by him.
Yeah.
Do you know him?
No, I don't know.
You don't want to say anything.
If you've got nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. But
fuck him, Jim, is what I say. Yeah.
Because I actually was listening to it downstairs a little bit earlier, and he was talking about La Liga have got some sort of deal going where they're getting a lot, like billions worth of investment for like a 50-year deal. And Simon Jordan was explaining these sort of intricacies of it. It's quite interesting.
Yeah.
But Jim White was just going. Look, the minority teams are the teams with all the power. They're the guys that bring the eyeballs, Simon. And I was just like, God, like, are we doing that? Are we? Because I'll tell you what, in 2 weeks' time, you're going, what about the little guys? What about them? Does nobody care anymore, Simon?
But it's like they've got a great asset there in Simon Jordan. They could just make a great fucking whatever.
But I don't mind if you think they bring the eyeballs and that's the end of it. But don't flip flop. That's what winds me up. It's to like, well, I've got to play devil's advocate, Simon, because you're given the intricacies of the deal, and we've got to go one way or the other, and then you're breaking the eyeballs. But in 2 weeks' time, you're going to say the opposite.
Yeah, but in this instance, with someone like him or Simon Jordan, you don't have to play at devil's advocate. You can just ask questions and have a conversation. You don't have to do it. You do have to do it on Drive or with Vandy Goldstein or with Jason Cundy and Jamie O'Hara and stuff, because they can't talk from the position of a business owner. He has genuinely good insight and a perspective that you don't hear very often, which is like an ex-chairman and an owner of a football club. So you don't need to do it all the time. And I get that's what works for TalkSport, and that's what it is, and it's entertaining to listen to, and it's it is what it is. Like, and I like TalkSport and I listen to it. And I know a lot of people don't, but I do. I like it, and I listen to it often. Whenever I'm in the car, I put it on, right? So it's not that I'm digging out their editorial narrative. It's just, in that instance, you've got someone really good who can really give you some insight. So you don't have to be Jim White. Just be
he's established, isn't he? That's what he's there. He's getting texts all the time as well. People he knows.
Yeah, the amount of texts he gets, it's unbelievable.
Do you know what he does? He goes,
I might just start doing that. I might start doing it.
I think he's doing that at times. At times he is doing that. He's going, wow, I can't believe what I've just received here. The time's 12. And then it goes to a 4-minute break. Oh, you will not believe what I've just received. It's me and Simon Jordan back in... Fucking hell.
Yeah. Okay.
Right, sorry. Power moves. Digging out TalkSport for 20 minutes. Here we go.
It's not TalkSport, just Jim White.
Critique, isn't it? They're critiquing everything, so surely we can as well. Taylor Sills. Power move. I'd like someone. So the reason I put this in is I would like someone. Maybe this is too close. Maybe I don't know. I'm offending someone. Whatever. But I would love to see someone try and do this in a pub and see if it works. Taylor Steele's power move: actively joining in a minute's silence or a minute's applause whilst watching football in a pub, simultaneously leading to others feeling guilty or joining in. When they look at you, wondering why you're not speaking, give them the finger to the lips so that they get it. So I was wondering if there's a power move here. If you're in a, like on 7 minutes of a game, everyone starts clapping.
Yeah.
I wonder if in a pub you could get a minute's applause going just by committing to the minute's applause. I just wonder.
Just clapping.
Just go and then you go, and then when people look at you, go.
You'd need a group.
Need about 4 or 5.
You couldn't just be one bloke. You'd end up just getting slapped. So I think it was just one of you.
Okay.
So what are you doing? Stop. You need a group to get it going.
Or the opposite. Do you go to the bar and go, or just go round the couple of tables and go, guys, we're going to do the minute silence in just a second.
But don't mention what it's for.
Exactly.
Everyone, we're doing the minutes.
Exactly. So just go by. I'll give the whistle. I'll give the whistle when we're ready. All right, guys, thanks. And just quickly move on to the next table. And they go, what are you talking about? And then you go, and you get a minute's silence out of a pub. I'd just love to see. If you are doing it, could someone film it?
Everybody ready for the minute silence? Yep, brilliant.
Yeah, just quickly to the bar. Guys, we're just going to do the minute silence in about 2 minutes or so, okay? I'm just letting everyone know. All right, cheers. You quickly move on. Right. Matt Robson's back. Power move. Was walking with a group of people the other day through Manchester, and one of them walked backwards and told a story. Thought it was the ultimate power move. Not only did he exhibit his capability of walking backwards at the same pace that we could walk forwards, he also put himself in a position where he had no choice. You had no choice but to look at him and listen to his story. That is a good power move.
That is good. You had no choice. It'd be weird if you didn't.
Dominate. Just literally go, right. So we're out at... Really good. I like it. Yeah, good power move, that.
Very good. I like that.
And we finish off... we're going to finish off with bottom chat. But things that make you go, There's a lot going on in this one, so stick with me, Flav, and try and concentrate.
Okay.
AJ, combo power move and things that make you go, So this is things that make you feel awkward. I'm 26 now, but I'll always hold on to a huge slice of awkwardness from my days as a 17-year-old at college. I was not long into a course, maybe the third or fourth month. Friendship groups had been established, relationship potential in the air, and BBM pins had all been exchanged. I was getting on with a girl I eventually ended up with for one of those college course 5-month relationships. But in the infancy of the relationship, in the college canteen, I arrived at lunchtime after my class and sat over by the pool table where my new friends and my soon-to-be girlfriend usually hang out. I see her sat over there, facing the other direction. As we were in the cute teen stage of being cringy affectionate, I walked up behind her, sat there, and she sat there unexpectant of my arrival, and I spooned her from behind as if to say, "Hello, here I am, the guy you're flirting with." However, it became quickly apparent that this was someone completely different, and not the girl I'm seeing. As she turned her head awkwardly, my chin rested on her shoulder and arms were around her. Thankfully, she didn't lose her shit too much, but I knew instantly who she wasn't, and quickly spotted my friends about 2 tables away who'd noticed what had happened from across the canteen.
Beautiful.
Horrific. I nearly did this with Fam's sister, by the way. I got really lucky, just about. I think it was my hand on her bum or something. I went, whoa! Just in time. I diffused the situation by telling her, almost still in the spooning situation, you see those lads there? We're doing dares, and they said they'd give me a tenner each if I spooned you from behind.
I love the fact that he whispered into her ear. When you say spoon, was she lying down? Have I missed something?
I think so. No, I think she sat there and he's put his arms round her.
All right, is that what spooning is? I thought it was just when you're lying down in bed. But yeah,
in
my head. He's lying down next to this bird in the canteen.
That's sort of spooning in the wild upright with a cheeky smirk. Thankfully, she laughed and bought my lie. But I got out of... I don't think she bought it. But I got out of jail and the boys enjoyed my story once I awkwardly but smugly stumbled over. Funnily enough, I don't see my soon-to-be girlfriend at the time anymore. But the girl I awkwardly spooned is someone I met through a friend a while later, became quite pally with, and we often talk about the strange first encounter. She is, however, now engaged with 2 kids and a degree. A fun situation nonetheless.
Well, that's good.
Horrible.
That's good. But the fact that you started it out, if she sort of was recoiled in disgust, that would have been even more.
I would love... maybe this is a way of moving this one on a little bit, is styling it out. I think that's a good idea. Like, is there something that you've styled out, something that went wrong and somehow you just styled it out? I'm trying to think of, I can't think of one off the top of my head, but get them in the comments when you styled something out. And it could be like it worked well or not, doesn't matter, but you just committed to it either way.
Yeah. Like
we were talking about in our mailbag, how Matt Hancock styled out crying even though he was actually laughing when the first vaccine was given to William Shakespeare.
That's right.
And we finish off with a bit of bottom chat. It's run for a couple of weeks. This I think is the full stop on it. So Ed Harrington, top and bottom chat. We asked the question, how do gay men know who the top is and who the bottom is? Top and bottom chat. I asked my 2 gay mates at a bar, what makes a man a top or a bottom person? They said generally, if someone has a camp lisp, they are a bottom person.
Is this coming from a gay man?
This has come from 2 gay mates at a bar.
Okay.
So it's not come from me. Thank you. Yeah, this is coming from 2 gay mates at a bar, not me. They said generally, if someone has a camp lisp, they are a bottom person, and if they are very skinny or small, they are also generally a bottom person. See, I'm small and thick, though. So what am I? I just like to know what I don't know what I am.
No, you don't have to be that. Like, you be whatever you want to be. But they're saying generally.
Well, he says top people are people who don't fall into these 2 categories.
That is quite. Look, that is
black and white. That's quite.
I like that though. I like that. I understand that. That makes complete sense. But what if you're skinny or small but you don't want to be bugged.
Mm.
What if you just
want
to...
world? Welcome to my world.
Yeah. What if you just want, you want to be the guy that puts it in.
Yeah.
But because you're small, you've got to go, oh, fuck's sake, I suppose I'll be bottom again tonight, love.
We were talking about this a couple of weeks ago. I think if you're not in those two categories that people stereotypically think is a top or a bottom, I think you got to lay your bums on the table straight away.
But there's also many relationships where there isn't someone in it that's small.
Yeah.
Or with a lisp.
Yeah.
There are many gay relationships where they're just two 6
same
sized men.
6 foot plus muscly bound men.
Maybe they just take it in turns.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they do.
Or maybe it isn't normal. Maybe they don't have to have penetrative sex. They can have.
So someone just said, Terrence just said, small and thick. I'm picturing Sherdan Shaqiri. So say I'm going out with Shaqiri. What are we doing here? Like, I don't know.
Imagine you're both standing each other on the side of the bed, hands on your hips, going, well, what's going to happen here then?
Yeah. Are you going to... We go, well, I'm not going to. Are you going to? Well, no. I don't think so.
I don't think I should. I think you should.
I don't think but I don't think I'm a bottom. I don't think I'm a bottom.
Well, what's going to happen here? Someone's got to be the bottom.
Yeah. Foreplay in it. Should we just go foreplay again then?
Just nosh each other off, shall we?
Is that what we're doing again, Sheridan? Because this is getting slightly boring.
I'm imagining you and Shaqiri 69ing on a bed now. Furiously noshing each other off.
Merry Christmas, everyone. Merry Christmas. And I don't think we're going to be topping that. So we can. The one topping that.
Topping something.
Topping that. We've reached the bottom of this podcast. And all that's left for me to say one final time is, if you would like a boundary security system, link is in the description. Very easy to use. Works with your smart devices. And you can use an app as well. 45% off boundary security system. Click on the link right now. Use the code James.
Yeah.
I did. I had a chat with the guys at Boundary before this podcast, and I said, if we do it, you are going to have to just go with some of the stuff we're going to say. So I think we thank them for that.
If anyone, I've lost my battery, which is fine. Just on this, can anybody just do a Photoshop of James and Shaqiri?
No,
please, in a 69 position. That would be wonderful. Just send it to me, and I can have a laugh at it.
Please don't put that on Twitter. I don't need that on Twitter.
No, not on Twitter.
But you know what
they're
like. You know what
No, they wouldn't do that to you.
They wouldn't do that.
All right,
mate. Become a patron if you'd like to. We're doing our mailbags next week. And we'll do a Christmas pod, of course, next week as well. Thanks for watching. Hit the like button on your way out. Subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you guys soon. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Cheers, guys.